Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Recovery Snack, February 11th, Wednesday. Hope this finds everybody well, safe and warm. um, let's get down to it, right out the gate. February 11th, AA thought for the day. If we're going to stay sober, we've got to learn we've got to learn to want something else more than we want to drink. Excuse me. I have to have some coffee. Bear with me. Mornings. Okay, one more time. If we're going to stay sober, we got to learn to want something more than we want to drink. When we first come into AA, we couldn't imagine wanting anything else so much more than drinking. So we had to stop drinking on faith that someday we really would want something else more than drinking. But after we'd been in AA for a while, we learned that a sober life can really be enjoyed. We learn how nice it is to get along well with our family, how nice it is to do our work well, whether at home or outside, how nice it is to try to help others. Question: have I found that when I keep sober, everything goes well for me? Meditation for the day. There is almost no work in life so hard as waiting, and yet God wants me to wait. All motion is more easy than calm waiting, and yet I must wait until God shows me His will. So many people have marred their work and hindered their growth of their spiritual lives by too much activity. If we wait patiently, preparing myself always, I will be someday at the place where I would be. And much toil and activity could not have accomplished the journey any sooner. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may wait patiently. I pray that I may trust God and keep preparing myself for a better life. I can absolutely relate personally to the having to get to a point to want something more than drinking before I could find anything worth having that I thought was more than drinking. And really, if I'm to be honest, I didn't get to that spot. I got to a spot of desperation. I got a spot of desperation. That's where I found myself. I knew that if I didn't do something differently before long, that it just wasn't going to get any better. I'd proved to myself repeatedly over and over again it wasn't going to get any better. That the life that I had found and I had created and I had chosen over a lot of years just wasn't producing any good results. All the fun was gone. There was medical issues, spiritual issues, emotional issues, relationship issues, professional issues. There was just issues. And to stop drinking on faith, I guess that was part of it. I just really don't know that I can claim that in the beginning because I was so desperate. I don't remember in the beginning, saying that I know that this will get better, if I just practice my faith. That's just not what I did. I was angry. I was scared. I was quite salty about the whole situation, confused. But I don't know that I can honestly say that I did it on faith. But I found faith. I found faith again during the journey. And this thing talks about, having God wants you to wait, wants me to wait, and that there's almost no work in life so hard as waiting. If any of y'all know me personally or whatever, y'all know I'm wound kind of tight. I move around, I'm always into something, doing something. For me to sit and wait, I never understood that as a process to create things that were worth, if you will. I always thought you had to get out and move and motivate and do things and make them happen. And that's not a horrible trait if you're speaking professionally, but that's not the way of faith, not the way that I found anyway. My faith growth has been all about waiting. It's been all about connection. It's been all about asking. It's been all about contact, and growth. My faith today and my practices today with my higher power and with my faith vaguely resemble where this all began. For me again, to, kind of like getting back into having a higher power, getting back into praying and trying to stay connected and trying to ask for help to get a better version of Chris. They always spoke about addiction being progressive. I always heard that. Addiction is progressive. Addiction is progressive. It gets worse. It gets worse. What I never heard a whole lot of in the recovery rooms or rehabilitation facilities or whatever when I was around, or maybe I just missed it, was recovery is progressive as well. I need to cut myself a break and give myself some grace that I've done as good as I have today, and understand that this thing climbs out of the cellar just like drugs and alcohol take me into the cellar. But it's a progression of time. I'm not going to be necessarily where I think I wanted to be, especially in early recovery, because I've been sober for 2 months or 6 months or 8 months. Not to devalue it, because that's a miracle. I couldn't stay sober hardly for 5 hours. It's a miracle that it occurs. But what I didn't understand in the beginning is like, I've been sober for 6, 7 months, whatever the case may be, and I still feel awful. I still feel horrible running around in this skin, and all that was about step work for me. The actual recovery process, bringing up, shining light on all my secrets, getting rid of them, all that nasty behavior, all the things that lived inside of me that I thought nobody knew anything about. Was eating me, rotting me from the inside out. That's the recovery piece for me. That's the step work piece. And I'll tell you right here and right now, doing that work changed my life. Quitting drinking helped, because it helped show up what the things that I needed to deal with. When the drinking and the drugging stopped, I had these things show up, and those were my problems. The drinking and the drugging was a symptom. My problems were my problems, and they stayed below level for years because I just soaked them and medicated them to the best of my ability, that I never had to deal with them. If you're not quite sure what you're going through, or maybe you can relate, if it's been substance use disorder or whatever, you find out what your problems are when you stop putting alcohol and drugs in your body, because they pop up, they show up, they show you what the issues are. So wherever you are in your journey, give yourself some grace and give yourself a little pat on the back that you're doing good today, and understand that it gets better. As addiction got worse, recovery gets better with time. My program and my life and the way that I see it and the way that it feels to live in it is different than 2 years ago. It's categorically different than it was 5 years ago. It's day and night different, than what it was 12 years ago. And that's because during the journey, things have morphed and changed and grown into other things. And it just so happens during this journey, without the alcohol and the drugs, and with me working a program, they've morphed and changed into things that are better, that are good. I actually like waking up in this life these days, and typically more times than not, I don't wake up to a shit show that I created in the days or weeks before. It's a whole lot easier to get going when I'm not in there messing it all up. So it is what it is. I appreciate y'all joining me. Please subscribe, share, like, tell somebody if you see any value in this. Trying to get the base build up. I appreciate y'all joining me. Have a safe, blessed day. Take good care of yourselves out there. And Lord willing, we'll be back Thursday morning. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.